Hi, my name is Nitesh Goyal, and I've been leading our research against online harassment and responsible AI tools at Google Research and Jigsaw. At a high level, I've been thinking about responsible AI space with at least three big areas that require our attention. Infrastructure that supports AI or ML models, like our datasets and annotators that create these datasets. Then the ML models themselves, like Perspective API, that can be used to detect toxic language. Finally, applications like online harassment, where we've been focusing on targeted vulnerable populations like female journalists and activists, and how we can use Perspective API that our team has created to help them manage their online harassment. This work falls into that last bit of space. Online harassment impacts women significantly. This becomes even more pronounced if these women have identity markers and are journalists or activists who do not have the luxury of turning their online presence off, even though many of them are being forced to do so. To study this space, we work collaboratively with 27 journalists and activists around the world. We created a multi-method participatory design research program using focus groups, interviews, and cognitive walkthroughs. The entire program has three phases: exploratory phase that explored the trajectory of harassment and led to the creation of a new framework that we call Pmcr framework of needs. Based on further research, we also created a set of design guidelines that can help guide system designers and developers in this space. The second phase was the design phase, where we designed a mock-up of a tool that embodies these design guidelines in the Pmcr framework findings. Finally, we validated this tool and found that while this tool is needed by the community and would be incredibly helpful, this tool also needs to graduate from a mock-up to a real tool. That requires multiple stakeholders to come together. Inaction is not neutral, and so we are hoping that we can make this a reality soon. For the purpose of this presentation, I'm going to focus on Pmcr framework, but will give you a teaser into trajectory of harassment and design of the mockup. For more details, please go look at the paper. So let's start with the story of Pmcr framework and design guidelines and how they were conceived. We found that publishing can develop traction through high participation and attention from disagreeing people and groups. The magnitude of an assault may swiftly expand. Managing an attack requires documenting and reporting information in a timely fashion for dealing with the attack. Documenting online harassment incidents serve the important purpose of building evidence and credibility to take care of that attack. However, ability to build this evidence is inequitable due to various reasons, including variance in resources available to different people and organizations. This is what the trajectory of online harassment looks like. There are three stages: before, during, and after. Please feel free to pause this video to look at this in more details. After mapping this trajectory and researching with the participants, we realized that the user needs cut across multiple stages of harassment. Harassment is way more complex than putting into these discrete stages. This led us to creating themes, and aggregating those themes created 4 categories of user needs. These categories were prevention, monitoring, crisis, and recovery, PMCR. This is how Pmcr framework was conceived. It is rooted into real user needs that cut across multiple stages of harassment. For example, prevention of an attack is a need that happens both before an attack and after an attack. Monitoring activities online is something that happens before and during an attack. Managing crisis needs happen during an attack and bleed into after an attack as well. Finally, recovery is both after and before an attack because people are going through multiple waves of attacks. This work focuses on crisis and recovery stages of this PMCR framework. The most popular way for people to manage harassment today is by taking screenshots of harassment. But what happens if this original posted content gets deleted? Screenshots cannot be used as evidence as they can be doctored and cannot resuscitate the deleted content. On the other hand, our legal policies are very unforgiving. They demand strong evidence, and screenshots often don't satisfy these requirements. This is a massive challenge as it was repeated often by participants. So we decided to focus our energy on designing better documentation and reporting for our participants. This involved creating 5 design guidelines. Here are some more details. Feel free to pause and read them. In particular, I would like to draw your attention to our guideline related to data validity. We need tools that connect directly with the platform that can gather a stamp of authenticity and then document it before the content can be deleted. This is exactly what this low fidelity prototype is supposed to do. You sign in directly with your social media platform. It connects to your social media platform and collects harassing content using ML models like Perspective API that we have built. Then it collects a seal of authenticity in the background, including the filters that you use. We can then be rest assured that once captured, this data can be turned into reports and shared with your support network. There are far more details in this paper about all of this, but I want to leave you with one call to action. Despite all the amazing work that all of us in the community have been doing, this problem persists and is turning targets of online harassment away from online participation. We are losing their voice. In some cases, we are even losing lives because of online harassment as it turns into offline harassment too. For example, these 2 journalists that lost their voices and their lives in Malta and India. Please join us in fixing this problem. In this paper, we have only focused on documentation and reporting needs within crisis and recovery of the PMCR framework. As you can see, the space is huge and it needs your action. For more details, please feel free to reach out to us. You can also freely read the paper on arXiv. Thank you so much for your attention, and I look forward to hearing your comments and questions.